Hello. Can I start with that? Is that...
Wow, I think we have to use that one.
Where do I even go from there? Hello, and welcome to the debut episode of Waste or Taste, a new podcast from Hearing Things. We are a brand new worker-owned music publication. The deal with this podcast is that every other week we'll dig through the deluge of new music, and of course we're going to argue about the best and worst of it. I am your host, Jill Mapes, and today I'm joined by my fellow Hearing Things co-founders, Ryan Dombal and Julianne Escobedo Shepherd. Welcome, guys.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Me too. Thanks for welcoming us to our podcast.
Yeah, I thought it would be appropriate if you guys were here on our podcast since you are Hearing Things. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be the vibe every episode. There'll be new folks coming through and having opinions and sharing songs.
But what does waste or taste even mean?
Oh, that's a wonderful question, Ryan. It's not that we want to suggest that waste or taste is some slang that should exist. We're not trying to make fetch happen where we want people to be all like, that's waste, that's taste.
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay, that's one of Ryan's goals, to make fetch happen. But it's just a shorthand. Today, we have a special Brat Remix edition of Waste or Taste. So all of our picks will be from the new Charli XCX Brat fall continuation album that is just trying to take over, I think, all of 2025, too.
It's the year of the Brat.
The year of the Brat.
Can't ignore it.
Yeah. Let's kick things off with a quick icebreaker. Guys, what's a song with Brat energy that's not by Charli? Julianne.
You really want me to tell you?
Yeah, I do. That's why I asked.
Okay, so my pick is a new song that has much Brat energy in an alternate universe. Could have possibly been on Brat. It is a song called Bad Bitch Academy. And it is by Paris Hilton featuring Megan Thee Stallion.
Welcome to the Bad Bitch Academy. Step one, shake ass. Post a video, make your ex boo mad.
I think just even by the title, it's pretty self-evident why it has Brat energy. But, you know, Paris Hilton was once the it girl in a different way than the it girls that Charli is celebrating on this album. But there's some crossover there.
Well, I mean, Paris wore a Von Dutch hat at some point, perhaps.
Paris was living the Von Dutch lifestyle.
We are reporting live from the scene, and what we're seeing is not hot.
Now more than ever, it seems like clubbing is in dire need of a bad bitch revival.
That's the Bad Bitch Academy video.
Wait, so I have a question, though. At the Bad Bitch Academy, is Paris like the head mistress? Is she a teacher? What's the concept here?
She's pretty much the teacher, but in the video, which has more product placement than I've ever seen in any video in my life, it's pretty incredible. In the video, she's more of the headmaster, and then the people who are teaching and helping her teach are Heidi Klum and Lance Bass. Megan Thee Stallion is notably not in the video.
Wonder why.
But she's basically just teaching you how to be a bad bitch in the club.
Sure.
On the song.
Okay, hearing you talk about the premise of the song, Ryan's very astute question about what how is the school organized? Where's their certificate?
It's a charter school.
It's a charter school, so there are no rules.
I've got a bratty pick.
Yeah, tell us.
It's old, and I'm proud of this pick. I was trying to do something that's a little bit off the beaten path, or maybe unexpected. Lou Reed.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lou Reed's I'm So Free from his 1972 album, Transformer. This is his glam album that David Bowie produced with Mick Ronson.
Yes, I am Mother Nature's son, and I'm the only one. I do what I want, and I want what I see. Could only happen to me.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a chug-a-lug, like, glam song. Lou is just talking about cruising around Times Square, getting high. and feeling free. And to me,
Wow.
that is kind of what Brat is also.
Yeah.
There's one line from the song when he says, I do what I want and I want what I see, which could be on Brat. Like, that is a very Brat line. And Charli is like known for being a big Lou Reed fan and has said his music inspired Brat. And when she said that, I was like, what? Like, okay. But then, going back and like listening to some of the stuff that she was referencing, I was like, oh, okay. I kind of see what you're saying. She also wore a Lou Reed shirt at Madison Square Garden when we saw her on the Sweat Tour recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring some of the Lou energy into the chat.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great.
That is like on point, but not expected. So wonderful
And I feel
pick.
edified. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Anytime.
That's Brad. Okay, so my pick is not as good as Ryan's. Sorry. But it is, I think, more contemporary. I know it's a more contemporary artist because they're okay. It is Shy
They're
Girl.
alive.
They're alive. Yeah. Sorry, spoiler. Shy Girl's Mr. Useless, which is shockingly popular. It has like 13 million streams on Spotify, and this is from an album that came out this year off Club Shy. I think everything on Club Shy is very Brat. I think a lot of things about Shy Girl in general are Brat. I think of her as really sexually liberated. I think of her as not giving fucks. I think of her as really closely following like London dance music and club culture the same way that you can hear that in Charli. And this song is really just like, I had you and you did me wrong and I didn't ever really need you. Like, you were never good enough for me. So like, boy, bye. And I think there's that level of confidence that's like, I'm going to do me no matter what happens. Just brush it off kind of energy.
If I cross your mind, just don't think of me taking care of anything that I need, baby. Never needed you, never needed all these pieces of my heart.
I mean, Shy Girl's also Brat certified.
Yeah.
Like, she's opening for Charli.
Yeah.
She's on this remix
It's
album.
on the album, yeah.
So hard to argue with that one.
Yeah, it's just, it's the extended universe, you know?
Exactly.
We'll get into this talking about some of these remix songs, but some of these guests are bringing their entirely weird worlds to Brat. And, some of them are good. And some of them are maybe not as good.
Yeah. Speaking of the more unexpected guests, I think, Jill, like your song that you wanted to talk about for Waste or Taste was
Mean
one
Girls.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked the Mean Girls remix featuring Julian Casablancas. It's hard for me to imagine somebody in this day and age not knowing who Julian Casablancas is, but he was...
Oh, the Void singer?
Oh my God.
That Julian Casablancas?
Yeah, from the Voids. I think he was in this band before that was like called like The Strokes or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's one for the ones that left, one for the abandonment. But in a fun way we get, captivate so you could get.
Mean Girls. Wow, this is loaded. I want to hear your thoughts, but let me tell you why I think this is such an interesting and knowing mashup. This is why. Okay. Julian Casablancas, through sort of being an ambassador of indie sleaze, I feel like weirdly connects to the Mean Girls world. It's rumored to be about Dasha Nekrasova, who is the Red Scare podcast host who turned into an actress. She was on Succession. I think if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are familiar with Dasha, or maybe not.
Yeah. She's
Really?
kind of an ambassador of the Dime Square scene.
Yes.
Maybe?
Crypto Catholic, flirts with right wingers.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Just had to add that.
Thank you for the shorthand. Yeah, it's getting to the Catholic thing. Noted Catholic. And I love the thing that sold me the detail in the Mean Girls original is fingering Gold Cross. That little detail, like using daddy's credit card while fingering the Gold Cross. I mean, I'm sure Dasha has her own money. That's not a Nepo baby statement. But just the knowingness of Charli picking up on the fact that people like Dasha and like Honor Levy, who is an author who is associated with Dime Square, have converted to Catholicism in the last few years, and a pretty traditional form of Catholic.
But it seems like
Oh my God.
for Mean Girls, it's kind of a tribute to people like that.
Yes, it's not anti. It's just some of the cutting details of it's like anorexic, and she wants you to think that, you know?
Right.
Little details that if you live in New York, you can picture that woman, whether she's in Bushwick or she's in Times Square. And
because there's another line on the original where she says something like, you know, problematic and she knows it or whatever, like it's as a badge of pride.
Yeah,
she's in her mid-20s, real intelligent. And you hate the fact she's New York City's darling. You say she's problematic, and the way you say it's so fanatic. Think she already knows that you're obsessed.
As someone who's not into that scene, to me it's like kind of boring edgelord shit.
yeah.
I really like Mean Girls, the song, but I almost wish I didn't know that it was kind of about this group of people because I don't like them.
Yeah, me too. I just want to say, I know that we're not trying to make this a political podcast, but I just want to say that
the UN brat.
as oh God, I just want to say that as someone who was born and raised Catholic and who lives near Times Square, Catholicism is great. And Times Square is a marketing / real estate concept and doesn't really exist. But I would also like to say I agree with you that knowing that kind of makes me like the song less.
Yeah.
Okay, what I like about the remix is that I feel like Julian Casablancas kind of didn't listen to the song, and he was like, wait, Charli, I've always wanted to redo Yes's Owner of a Lonely Heart with deep auto-tune. Like, I just really want to do that. And she's like, sure, man. And the factor of him being like this downtown New York figure, there's a little winking element of like he would be on that song, but I don't think anything he's singing about relates to the original song at all.
Except that he's like #1 downtown Nepo.
Well, this is what I'm saying is like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to say anything related. His presence is the sort of winking meta act.
I think you're right. I think there is that downtown New York connection, you know, like bridging generations of downtown disaffected young people. But when I first heard this remix, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because a lot of the other remixes are, you know, there's clear chemistry between Charli and the person, and like there's some sort of concept. And this one, I was like, what? Like, is he just singing a Void song like over this Charli song? But I listened again in preparation for this podcast, and I have a theory that he is singing from the point of view of someone who has been wronged by a mean girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
Totally.
You're totally right.
Which I'm not saying it like puts the fucking song over the top or whatever, like makes it like make sense. Like it doesn't really. And I think his lyrics are really bad on it. But I think that's what he's trying to do, which also like doesn't make sense within the world of Brat. Like, I'm rooting for this mean girl. Now I'm supposed to care about someone who she just like kicked to the curb. It's like, I don't care. Like, you're a mean girl. That's what mean girls do.
That's not Brat. Caring about the guy's feelings is not Brat.
Exactly.
But you know what might be Brat is singing about your feelings in Greenwich Village piano bar, which is kind of what this song gives to me because the piano is so prominent. Like, I think this song has to be a joke. Like,
no, it isn't.
You don't think it is?
No.
I'm just like, maybe not on purpose, but it's Julian Casablancas jumping the shark if he hasn't already, and it's
he has.
okay.
You're holding out.
Well, the thing is, I never really paid that much attention to Julian Casablancas. I did not like the Strokes when they came out.
Whoa.
I wasn't, I know.
Whoa.
I know. I was like a yeahs and a TV on the radio fan. I didn't care about the Strokes. Like, there was some rich kids and shit. I see him, like, this is the beginning of his next part of his career as, like, a guy who plays in piano bars. This is more about him than it is about Charli or Brat.
I kind of love that. It instantly brought to mind a character that I have deemed Lalouche, that one of my boyfriends, when he gets too drunk, is Lalouche. I just think Julian Casablancas could be a wonderful Lalouche, like in a piano bar on the West Side.
Listen, I'd love to hear his Lalouche record over whatever the fuck the Voids are doing right now. Any day. Please, like, go to a piano bar, put some candles on, record it, and put that out. Like, I really did like the Strokes when they came out.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for him to pivot to like some old man shit for decades now. Because it's like the spark that the Strokes had has been gone for a long, long time.
They hate each other. Yeah. It's so wild.
He's doing this really weird prog music. I'm like, do like a Tom Waits album. I don't know. Do something. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea. The Piano Bar Julian Casablancas album, which this song isn't. And
it's not. And that's why it's not there.
It's a waste for me.
Okay, wow. I have some more thoughts that I wanna share, but I think we all knew that Ryan was going to come in with a big waste stamp on that one.
Yeah.
Boom.
First of all, this is an anti-voids podcast. I just want to announce that. Sorry.
Okay. Damn.
Hate the voids.
Just lost 5 people on Earth.
Sorry to my best friend who loves the voids.
Oh.
Sorry, Shane. It makes the song worse, for sure.
Agreed.
But I am really amused by him singing totally different words to the melody of Owner of a Lonely Heart. Like, yes, if you don't know about prog music, if you don't know about Yes, this is like 83 Yes. This is like they've jumped the shark several times.
This is pop Yes.
This isn't like a cool prog thing. This is like a full-on cheesy 80s hit. That song is so embedded in my head that it would actually be hard to sing different words to the melody. So I have to give him a little bit of credit for like being able to do that. Okay, I shouldn't give him credit. He's a professional musician.
It's such like a dad move to be like, oh, I'm gonna sneak this like melody in, hip the kids up to like what the real music is. Like that's kind of how it reads to me.
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's another reason why it's a waste.
Okay, Ryan has stamped his vote several times now. Julianne, give me your thoughts.
So I love Yes, all iterations. I think the piano at the beginning is really good. I don't love Julian Casablancas, but I like him when he's being funny, intentionally or no. This is taste.
Wow.
I'm also going taste.
Yo.
It's camp. I love camp also.
Camp, yeah.
It's camp. I'm into it. I'm not going to listen to it a bunch, but it's taste.
I mean, I've already listened to it a bunch, but at some point I will stop listening to it. I'm just so what the fuck about it. So sometimes that's a good quality. But wait, I want to like tonally do a 360. See what I did there?
Do you mean 180 though?
I do, actually. Sorry, cut that. I thought I was being cool, making a Charli joke. I actually don't know about math. Okay, Ryan, I want to make a tonal shift here and go for a remix or an unremix from this Brat collection that is so chill. The BPM is way down. Ryan, your song is I Might Say Something Stupid.
Yeah, so this remix features the 1975, which means that their singer, Matty Healy, sings on the song. And I think George, who is, famously Charli's fiance, did the production.
Oh, you mean I Want to Dance with George.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As people might learn from this podcast or my previous work, I am a close follower of the 1975's work. And I was excited to see Matty on this remix album, in part because he hasn't really done any new music since Taylor Swift put her album out that ethered him, basically. So I'm just like, is this going to be related? It's kind of the first big thing he's done since then. And maybe it is. It is very sad. I will say that. So yeah, just to preface this a little, I might say something stupid. The Charli song is kind of her song about being insecure and feeling really self-conscious as this middle-of-the-road pop star. And it's funny because the success of Brat has in many ways made that song and idea obsolete now that she's super duper famous. So it's kind of funny for, Matty to take it on. The most famous line from the original, which is brought up again in this version, is I'm famous but not quite.
Guys, medicine makes me a problem. I'm famous, but not quite.
Charli said that originally, but that kind of sounds like a Matty line to me. But yeah, the song is extremely sad. It finds them in the kind of like ambient piano mode. It actually reminds me a lot of this song from their album, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships, called How to Draw.
Yes.
Very similar sound. And yeah, Matty's just kind of, he's wallowing, I guess.
The track is by John Hopkins, the dance, ambient, I don't want to call him dance.
Yeah. He's like ambient techno artist. John Hopkins is on it as well. You know, when you think remix, generally people think, oh, this is going to be a dance song. Or, you know, like make it for the club. And this makes it for like crying in the corner remix, which I like as someone who's listened to a lot of remix and remix albums, just like doing something different, I appreciate. But I'm curious what y'all think. I mean, Matty is he's a bold personality.
Yeah, I guess some context is that Julianne and I do not like Matty Healy, and we have
You're not alone.
Made this clear to Ryan, who has a fondness for this character.
You make it sound like an intervention.
Listen,
Ryan, we're here to tell you about how much we care about you, but it's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop. You gotta stop bringing up Matty Healy in the office.
I think this song is sort of interesting because he seems like he is like inching to try and make an apology for himself, but then later in the song, he basically tries to blame it on drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have time for this, Matty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he says a couple times medicine makes him a problem. And in 1975 Talk Medicine, they have a song called Medicine that's like booze and drugs, arguably. But
yeah, I mean, it could be heroin, you know, like Matty was on heroin for a while. And the 1975 song called Medicine is kind of a blatant ode to our friend Lou Reed's song, Heroin, like the Velvet Underground song. So there's a bit of a connection, a Lou connection there, maybe.
Damn, I was chased thinking it was about wine and all the wine he drinks on stage.
Could be anything.
No. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But it is an apology. So I was thinking maybe like since he's in apology mode, you guys would be more amenable to that.
Okay.
I mean, I do think it's interesting, but Matty is a little bit of an edgelord. He was on a podcast with this like right winger, which in and of itself is like dubious to say the least. But that person started saying like racist, anti-Asian racist things about Ice Spice. And then he like laughed along and encouraged along and just like, why are you doing this, dude? Get out of here.
Yeah. I have a complicated feeling about Matty because I really appreciated his artistry and like how sort of he's playing with what's respectable, you know? He's being this outsized masculine parody. Like he's literally putting his arms around himself and making it look like he's making out with someone and drinking wine and taking off his shirt and getting in the audience and making out with people. And as a work of fiction, I think that's very interesting, but it's very hard with Matty to think of it that way. I think the blurry lines of like, is this behavior that's kind of like, you're really just going to kiss some random fans that you don't know how old they are? I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, well, I mean, the song's called I Said Something Stupid.
Yeah.
He said many stupid things.
He said many stupid things,
And, you know, that's kind of the joke, but I get it. Like, it's a little bit like Boy Who Cried Wolf or something, where it's like, how many times can you fuck up, like, and apologize? But that is the wave. If you're a fan of his, that is the wave. Like, you just either are with it or you're not. And I understand people are, like, gotten off that wave for various reasons.
Yeah. And he does say something stupid here. I think that's part of what loses me is the part where he makes fun. He kind of uses the script of it happens to a lot of guys. Mm-hmm. Like it's a problem getting a boner, but it's really about being canceled. And so I think co-opting the language of, oh, it's okay, a lot of guys go through this, just quoting that line, I'm famous, but I'm not quite, makes me roll my eyes because Matty Healy is as famous as I think he can get with his shtick. He has pushed it. He's done the antics. He's done the things that have made headlines. And it's funny that being the subject of a short-lived Taylor Swift romance and thus Tortured Poet Society took his fame to a whole nother level in a way that was unsavory and got him even more arguably sort of canceled.
Yeah, but I do think Charli is like more famous than he is now.
Now, but I think that's changed in the last 4 months, you know?
Sure, but I like that.
Yeah.
You know, I like him in the background role or the like lesser role. Like I think that is good for him when he's on the pedestal, like when society or whatever culture puts him on a pedestal.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster. But I just feel like of his apology songs, this is one of the better ones. And the one other small thing is there's a little bit of like Midwestern emo in this song.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yes.
I don't know, like just listening to the song, it made me like excited about what they'll do next because it seems like a little bit of a tease, perhaps.
Okay, I'll agree it's a cool texture. I just can't get over him fucking using the lines like, don't worry, it's pretty common. It happens to a lot of guys. I can't, like, stop referencing your dick. I don't want to hear about your dick. I don't want to think about your dick. I don't want to be psyched out being like, this line is supposed to be an apology, but yet I'm thinking about Matty Healy's dick. Not everything's about your fucking dick, okay? That's why it's not taste. Like, it's a tasteful song, and that's the thing that gets me is it's so aggressively tasteful. The 1975 are so good at making songs sound like any band or any actor, any vibe that they want to do. But it's like Matty just tells on himself. Yeah. There's always something there that is like, gives me the ick. So I have to say it's a waste because of the fucking boner shit. I don't want to think about your dick.
Yeah. I have a bit of a different perspective. Although I do not want to think about his dick. The TV show.
I'm sorry to everyone I made think about his dick.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I think the lyrics on this are actually really interesting, and I think that he is clearly so talented, and it sucks that he's such a dumbass. I do think it's an interesting approach for this. I think it's interesting on this remix album, but musically, I already don't listen to James Blake, and so that is why it is waste.
Burn.
Wow.
I'm sorry to James Blake for catching a stray.
So now I'm unfortunately thinking about what a James Blake song about erectile dysfunction would sound like.
That will exist in our lifetime. James Blake for hymns.
That would be kind of great.
Anyway, it's a taste. It's a taste for me, but all points are well taken.
Lovely.
Respect. Fully respect.
Julianne, you picked the most club classic of the songs, the Club Classics
It's
remix.
literally called Club Classics.
Yeah, with BB Tricks.
With BB Tricks.
Charli XCX es un clásico automático. Fashion killer, aunque el outfit sea básico. Yo soy un abrazo aunque no tenga nada de plástico. Bounce like Obvio es un fanático. Sigo siendo una princesa que pasé por el hood. Te daré una cita pero no estoy en el mood. Buddy, el club. Brat, el club. El club. Estoy sonando el
Who's BB Tricks?
Great question.
BB Tricks is a 23 or 24-year-old Catalan rapper from Barcelona. She just started rapping last year and got kind of big off of TikTok, though BB Tricks Reddit has informed me that she's viewed in some corners of Spain as a little bit of a Nepo baby because her father is like a big DJ / like music industry guy in Spain.
I did watch a couple of her TikToks after hearing her on this song, and I will say her refrigerator and her amenities, her appliances in the kitchen seem to be extremely nice and clean. So the Nepo baby thing might check out.
Yeah, she definitely seems a little Nepo baby, which makes it complicated on this when she raps in Spanish about like, you know, how hot she looks even when she's walking through the hood or whatever. And you're like, But
she comes through, like, on some of the TikToks, she comes through with that Brat energy.
Yeah. I mean, I think this remix is fantastic. Like, it actually sounds like a proper remix, not sort of an experiment like these other songs we've talked about.
Yeah, it's a proper remix, and full disclosure, my favorite Brat song is the Von Dutch remix with Banga and Scream. It brings back this sort of old school early great dubstep vibe. And this remix sounds like an early 2000s two-step garage 12-inch on record.
When I get to the cup, I wanna hear the classics. When I get to the cup, I wanna hear the classics. Like it's like when I get to the cup, I wanna hear the classics.
And that is partly why I think it is fantastic. Two-step garage in general is sort of having a nostalgic resurgence, and people are pushing it forward. In the UK, garage got big in the pop world the first time around, and it's kind of nice and interesting to see it come back in this way.
I like that idea of like BB Tricks being like young Charli or something.
Mm-hmm.
I like that kind of full circle concept. And BB Tricks, I looked up the lyrics and like she's not saying a lot, but she sounds good saying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Like half of the verse is like her, saying like her ass is like jelly, basically. From what is that right?
She's saying move it like jelly.
Yeah.
Ese culo se mueve como jelly, como jelly, como jelly, mueve como jelly, como jelly, como jelly, mueve como jelly, como jelly, como jelly.
And I did chuckle like when I realized that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Like in most of like her verse, but she sounds great. So
No, and she brings up Brat's dolls, which like
Oh my God. Yeah. Is she the first person to do that connection?
Maybe.
Wow. They have to be working on a Charli Bratz, right? That has to come out.
seems inevitable.
Make the Bratz dolls. I'll buy one.
The one thing I'll add about club classics that I kind of wish existed was if the song was more like that Bad Bunny song, Zafarera.
Yeah.
Hoy se bebe, hoy se gasta, hoy se fuma como un rata, si Dios lo permite, si Dios lo permite.
With that song, like he kind of goes through a bunch of different beats, like classic beats, like in the course of the song, and it's almost like a club night in miniature.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a song that's called Club Classics, like that would have been a really cool approach also.
Ooh, yeah.
Just like making it like mini epic, like 6-minute track with like a bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
Which is this one would be one of. Like that's my dream version of this song. But that said, it's still taste.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy taste for me. I'm a huge fan of original club classics, and I think this just takes that energy and amps it up and makes it feel just like a little bit more authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cunty. I like it.
Yeah. I obviously find this to be a taste, and I think it greatly improves on the original, which is what a remix can and maybe should do, depending on your philosophical notion of what a remix should be. But yeah, taste.
Wow, that was an easy one that we agreed on. I love that for us.
Yeah, wow.
Guess what? We have an outro for you. You made it through the end of episode 1 of Waste or Taste. I hope that you have enjoyed your time with us. And if you didn't, too bad. We're going to do this every other week. So we want to shout out some people. Waste or Taste is taped at the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music in downtown Brooklyn. It's a co-production between us, Hearing Things, and our friends at 3DB. Our producers are Mark Yoshizumi and Elia Einhorn. And our theme music is Little Rumble by our own Andy Cush, one of the Hearing Things co-founders. If you enjoyed yourself, we would love it if you subscribe to Waste or Taste wherever you get your podcasts. And you should check out hearingthings.co for all of your music criticism needs, some hot takes, some good features.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe, share, tell your mom, tell your friends.
Yeah,
tell your
love
ex.
us.
Great reason to reach out to that ex you've been waiting to.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Smart.
I'm Jill Mabes, and until next time, keep it tasteful.